Hi, I'm Larry Golden, and I'm 65
And
years
I'm
old.
Cindy Goldberg, and I am 68. And Larry and I are going to interview my mother, Sylvia Golden, in just a second. Mom, so can you introduce yourself to everyone? Can you say your name, your age, anything else?
My name is Sylvia Golden. My age is 89. In December, I will be 90.
So we're going to interview you about all of your memories, and Larry's going to do the first question.
Mom, what do you remember about Isaac and Anna?
I really I don't remember very much about Anna, but I do remember Isaac. Isaac was a shoemaker, and Isaac had a shoe shop across from an elementary school that I attended, and I would stop in there as a child. I had to be maybe 7 years old, 6 or 7, and I would stop in there, and I remember him spitting on the floor. But
Why was he spitting?
I don't know. I just never knew. I mean, he just spit.
That's so funny. Do you remember your first home?
No, but I do remember living 2541 North 30th Street. That was a row house attached, an interior row house with 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
Was that Strawberry Mansion?
That was in Strawberry Mansion.
What was your childhood like, Mom?
Well, my childhood started, I went to school. I went to McIntyre School, which was a little bit further than where I lived. I walked there, but the kids used to beat me up because this was in 1942. This was the beginning of anti-Semitism. And so my mother took me out of that school, which was called McIntyre, and sent me to a school in a different area called Walton.
Do you have any memories of that?
Yes, there were mostly Jewish children there, and it was a lot more comfortable.
So what do you remember about your mom and dad from those days?
My dad was a very hard worker. My mom pretty much stayed home. She had my sister Beverly, who was a quadriplegic, and they couldn't really go too many places. And I was pretty much the caregiver of my sisters.
And so you had your sister Beverly, but you had another sister too.
I did. I had my sister Arlene, and I pretty much took care of her when she was a baby, and as she grew up, I took her with me wherever I went.
So do you have any memories of having fun as a kid?
I don't remember having any fun, but I do remember my mom sent me to a ballet, tap, and acrobatics school, and she sent Arlene, and we both had to go on a bus and travel in town to the dance studio, and then we would come back by ourselves on I think the number 48 bus.
Wow.
Or trolley.
And then later you became a dance teacher.
And then yes, later I was, I think, a teenager, and I decided that I'm going to teach dancing.
So when you were in Strawberry Mansion, did you have a lot of Ginsburg family members in the neighborhood?
No one lived in Strawberry Mansion except for my Aunt Minnie. She would walk to my mom's house almost every day and try to help her with Beverly.
So were you close with any Ginsburg cousins when you were growing up?
The only one that I was really close with was my cousin Marilyn. And Marilyn would come to my house on a Saturday and take me. I had to be about 12, maybe 10 or maybe 11 or 12. And she was 3 or 4 years older than me. And she would take me by trolley car into Center City to a movie. and then take me back to her house. It actually wasn't a house, it was an apartment above their bell floor covering, and I would sleep over.
Nice, nice. And I remember that when you got a little older, you told me that Grandma Marini was a little strict about who you went out with and if you went out with boys. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I was, my cousin Jerry Ginsburg wanted to take me out, and my mother would not allow it.
Why?
I never found out why.
And what about other guys who wanted to take you on a date?
Well, if they drove, my mother would ask them for their driver's license.
And then she would approve them or not?
And then if they had a driver's license, I would be allowed to go out with them.
Okay.
How did you meet Dad? How did you meet our father, Ken?
I was invited to a birthday party in the neighborhood, and
do you remember whose birthday party it was?
Anita Kenoff.
Wow.
May her memory be a blessing.
Okay. Okay.
And Daddy was her date. And when I wanted to go home, he had his friend, I can't remember his friend's
It's okay.
name, walk me home and get my phone number. And that's how we met. He called me and we went out on a date. And that's what I remember.
So I remember when Larry and I were little, you and Daddy would go out every Saturday night, but you often went to a cousins club. Was that the Ginsburg cousins?
That was a Ginsburg Cousins Club, and everyone had a turn having the Cousins Club. It would be once a month. I don't remember too much what we did there, but we did eat.
That's good. That's the perfect party.
Well, speaking of, I remember going to Grandmom and Grandpop's house, and the house was always full of Ginsburgs, eating, playing cards, you name it. It was like amazing. Why was that the gathering spot, and what can you offer about that?
That was the gathering spot because my mother and father had Beverly, and they could not get away. They couldn't get a babysitter. No one knew how to take care of Beverly except my mother and me, myself. So they would come to my mother's house and just to see her, and the men would play poker. They would play poker with my father, who would always win.
I guess that's how Larry and I learned to play poker so young.
Yes.
And so you were an amazing knitter. You still are. And you're amazing with needlepoint. You were a dancer. And your mom was very creative. Where do you think all that creativity came from? Was it a Ginsburg trait?
That is a Ginsburg trait.
Can you tell us about it?
And my mother taught me to knit. That's actually how I found out how to knit. And then when I got a little bit older, I went to people who knew how to knit better and make new stitches and create things.
Nice. What other creativity is in that family?
Well, my Uncle Max and my Uncle Ben, well, the Ginsburg, the four men, my Uncle Max, my Uncle Ben, my Uncle Sam, and my Uncle Eddie, they formed, it was called the 4Gs.
Okay.
But they didn't all get along. So I don't even want to name the one that didn't get along. But my uncle Max was amazing, and he made what was it called?
For Beverly?
For my sister Beverly.
Like a wheelchair?
Actually, yes, so that she could sit in it. It was amazing. I don't know how he just had this inborn talent.
I know they were all really talented. I remember you used to have metal things on your walls. Who did that?
My Uncle Max and my Uncle Ben, my Uncle Sam, and my Uncle Jack.
Yes, nice. And how about the women? Were they creative?
My Aunt Fanny was creative. She painted, she did needlepoint. My Aunt Florence, I believe, was very creative as well.
How about your mother?
My mother was amazing. My mother could knit. She was a sculptor. She played the piano. She never took piano lessons, but she picked it up on her own. She was amazing.
Wow.
They were amazing, and all the Ginsbergs are amazing. And
Amazing.
I'm just wondering, what do you think is the main thing that you learned from your parents?
I learned to be compassionate. That was important to me, to be compassionate, because when you have a child who never could walk and talk, and you were the oldest in the family and you had a lot of responsibilities, you had to be compassionate.
And you still are compassionate.
I try.
So what are you the most proud of?
I am the most proud of my children, my son and my daughter. They are amazing, and I love them.
And how about your grandchildren?
Oh, my grandchildren, I cannot tell you enough about them. I am so proud of my Elisa and my Jacob and my Rebecca Rapone, who has Eva, who is my great-granddaughter. I love her so much. My daughter Erica Goldberg Jones. She has my two great-grandsons, Keegan and Logan,
Yes.
and I love them. I just love them to death.
And they all adore you. So if you could give something to your children, to your grandchildren, to your great-grandchildren, that you, a quality, something that you feel is so important, what would that be?
Well, there are a couple things. Hard work is one.
Did we say that you're 89 and a half and you're still working?
I don't remember.
Well, you can say it now.
That's a good answer.
I'm 89 and I am still working.
What do you do?
I am a real estate appraiser. I did that in the middle of my life. I took classes and passed the test. It took me 4 times to pass the test, but I did pass.
You have perseverance.
Perseverance,
Determination.
yes. Determination, perseverance.
And I took you away from the question of what trait would you want your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to have?
I'm glad you took me away from that,
Okay.
because perseverance, just being the best person you could be, and having compassion for other people.
And I really, Larry and I appreciate you answering all of our questions the way that you did. And
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
No, this was very nice, and I'm glad that you decided to do this.
Okay. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Not as much as I love you.
Poo-poo.
Poo poo.